Okay, so now we are going to discuss about treatment of Graves' disease. So how to treat Graves' disease? So treatment of Graves' disease. So we can prescribe antithyroid drugs. So management, we will give antithyroid drugs like carbimazole, propylthiouracil. Then we can do surgery, that is subtotal thyroidectomy, and then radioiodine ablation. So what we do in radioiodine ablation therapy? So we will give radioactive iodine, that is iodine 131, which will destroy the major functioning thyroid tissue. So that's why the gland which is available for secreting excess TSH will be destroyed. So major portion of the thyroid will be destroyed, and other portion will secrete a normal TSH level. So there will be normal TSH level. So three things can be done, that is antithyroid drugs like carbimazole, which is this safest drugs, but in pregnancy we will give propylthiouracil. Subtotal thyroidectomy, we will remove a portion of the major portion of the thyroid gland. Then we will do radioiodine ablation. So indications for antithyroid drugs: first episode in patients less than 40 years. So if there is only one episode of Graves disease, or first episode, only one episode of Graves disease, if the patient's age is less than 40 years, then we will give antithyroid drugs like carbimazole. So indication is first episode in patients with less than 40 years. Then contraindications: so if patient has hypersensitivity to any drug like carbimazole, then breastfeeding women. So if woman is pregnant or if it is breastfeeding, so we can't prescribe carbimazole. So in that case we will give propylthiouracil, which is the suitable drug for pregnancy or breastfeeding women. So okay, now disadvantage. So disadvantage, what is the disadvantage of antithyroid drugs? So greater than 50% relapse rates, usually within 2 years of stopping drugs. So this is very important disadvantage. So greater than 50% of relapse rate, usually within 2 years. So 50% cases, in 50% cases we can see relapse of the episode. So within 2 years after stopping drug we can see relapse. So this is about the antithyroid drugs. So antithyroid drugs like carbimazole, then if woman is pregnant or if it is breastfeeding, then we will prescribe propylthiouracil. And indications are if first episode in patients less than 40 years, and contraindications are hypersensitivity, breastfeeding and pregnancy. Then disadvantages are there will be relapse within 2 years after stopping the drug. Now subtotal thyroidectomy. So indications for subtotal thyroidectomy: so recurrent hyperthyroidism. So if there is recurrent hyperthyroidism after course of antithyroid drug, so first we will give antithyroid drugs. After that, if there is no any body's response to this antithyroid drug, then we will prefer surgery. So we will do surgery. So what is that surgery? Subtotal thyroidectomy. So if there is recurrent hyperthyroidism after course of antithyroid drugs, so this is indication of subtotal thyroidectomy in patients less than 40 years. So here, if patient's age is less than 40 years and we prescribed antithyroid drugs, and despite of taking antithyroid drug, there are recurrent attacks of hyperthyroidism. So we will do subtotal thyroidectomy. Then initial treatment in males with large goiters. So goiters, and in those with severe hyperthyroidism. So if the hyperthyroidism is severe, then we will not prescribe antithyroid drugs or any other not do any other thing. We will directly do surgery. Then we will do surgery, that is severe hyperthyroidism. Or if males are initial treatment in males with large goiters, if there is large diffuse goiter and we are seeing large diffuse goiter, so it is severe case, then we will do subtotal thyroidectomy. And poor drug compliance. So if there is any malabsorption symptoms or patients is not able to take oral medication, then we have to do surgery. So if there are contraindications for antithyroid drug, then we have to do surgery. then previous thyroid surgery. So if there, and then contraindication. So if we have performed already thyroid surgery, then it is very difficult to do surgery on thyroid again, so we cannot do surgery again. So contraindication, previous thyroid surgery, dependence upon voice. If person is teacher or he is singer, and while operating there will be any injury to recurrent laryngeal nerve or any other nerve, so there will be a problem of voice, so he can't speak clearly after surgery, and there will be hoarseness of voice or low pitched voice. So if person is depending on voice, so we can't do surgery, it will affect his occupation. Then transient hypocalcemia. So disadvantage is what? So after thyroidectomy there will be hypocalcemia. So why hypocalcemia will occur? Because we know that parathyroid gland is situated in proximity with thyroid gland. So if we are removing thyroid, then there will be chances of removing parathyroid along with thyroid, because parathyroid is very small gland. We can differentiate between thyroid and parathyroid. So if we are removing parathyroid along with thyroid, then as parathyroid, as there is less PTH, there will be less calcium, so there will be hypocalcemia. Then hypoparathyroidism. So as we removed parathyroid gland along with thyroid, then there will be hypoparathyroidism. Then recurrent laryngeal nerve palsy. So while operating on thyroid gland, if there is injury to the recurrent laryngeal nerve, then there will be recurrent laryngeal nerve palsy. So as there is recurrent laryngeal nerve palsy, there will be problems related to voice. So we can't operate in patients who are dependent on voice. Okay, so this is about the subtotal thyroidectomy. Then radioiodine. Then if patient's age is greater than 40 years, then we will do radioiodine therapy. So if patient's age is less than 40 years, then we will do subtotal thyroidectomy, or we will give antithyroid drugs. So if antithyroid drugs are not responding, if patient is not responding to antithyroid drugs, then we have to do surgery. And if patient's age is greater than 40 years, then we will do radioiodine therapy. So what is radioiodine ablation? In that we will give iodine 131 to the patients. Patients will take orally. Then this radioiodine will destroy maximum portion of the functioning thyroid. Then recurrence following surgery irrespective of age. So we have done surgery, after that there is also recurrence, then we have to give radioiodine therapy. Other serious comorbidity, then if we can't operate on patient, we can't do surgery, then we can give radioiodine therapy. Then contraindications are pregnancy or planned pregnancy within 6 months of treatment. So pregnancy is the contraindication. Then disadvantage are hypothyroidism. Why? If that iodine has destroyed maximum portion of the gland, then there will be no functioning thyroid which will secrete TSH, and that's why there will be low which will secrete T3 and T4. So that's why there will be low TSH in low T3 and T4, and TSH will increase. So there will be hypothyroidism. Approximately 40% cases in first year and 80% after 15 year. So in 40% cases we can see hypothyroidism in first year, and after 15 years there are chances of hypothyroidism. Most likely treatment to result in exacerbation of exophthalmos. So we know the clinical feature of Graves' disease, that is exophthalmos. So after radioiodine therapy there can be exacerbation of exophthalmos. So this is about the treatment plan of Graves' disease. Then we will manage other manifestations, like we will manage ophthalmopathy, then we will manage dermopathy. We will read about this point. So subtotal thyroidectomy, radioiodine therapy, and antithyroid drugs. So antithyroid drugs. So most commonly used drug is carbimazole. Propyl thiouracil is equally effective. Then what are the mechanism of action of these drugs? So these drugs reduce synthesis of thyroid hormone. So this is important point. Okay, so these drugs will reduce synthesis of thyroid hormones. So they will reduce synthesis of thyroid hormones, inhibiting the formation of tyrosine. So they will inhibit formation of tyrosine. This is important point. Inhibit, 1 minute. So they will inhibit tyrosine. They will inhibit formation of tyrosine. This is important point. So they will reduce synthesis of new thyroid hormones. So already present thyroid hormones will be there, but they will take care that this gland will not synthesis new thyroid hormones by inhibiting secretion of inhibiting iodination of tyrosine. Then carbimazole is also has an immunosuppressive role. This is also important point. So immunosuppressive action carbimazole, leading to reduction in serum anti thyroid receptor antibody concentration. Okay, so it will reduce anti-thyroid antibody concentration, and we know that in Graves' disease there will be increase in the serum anti-thyroid antibody concentration. So as carbimazole will prevent it, so it has immunosuppressive action. Then subjective improvement within 10 to 14 days starting carbimazole. Patients is usually clinically and biochemically euthyroid. And maintenance dose is determined by measurement of T3 and TSH. Then blocking thyroid hormone synthesis with carbimazole 30 mg daily, adding T4. So this is replacement therapy. So this is not important points. Only remember that anti-thyroid drug carbimazole and propylthiouracil, their action is they inhibit formation of new thyroid hormones by preventing iodination of tyrosine. Okay, then subjective improvement will occur within 10 to 14 days. Then subjective thyroidectomy, so subtotal thyroidectomy, and then radioiodine ablation. And we can prescribe beta blockers also for symptomatic treatment. Then management of ophthalmopathy and management of dermopathy. So this is about thyroid treatment. We will give anti-thyroid drugs. We will do subtotal thyroidectomy. We can do radioiodine ablation. Then we can also for symptomatic treatment we can give beta blockers. Then we will manage ophthalmopathy. Then we can manage dermopathy. So this is all about Graves' disease.